Se mira bien extraño así. A ver si me pongo acá. Parte 2 de 36 preguntas. 36 questions. Creo que lo voy a hacer en inglés porque acabo de perder México. Pero bueno, no importa. Empecemos. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? I think I would like to know, like, the end of the things I do. It's like if the things I do have any future in that sense of like, because right now in my life I'm studying and I'm doing these things and I don't even know if there's like a reason to be doing them. You feel? I'm a little bit tipsy. I'm 21, so it's allowed. Number 2, is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? I don't know if there's a thing I've dreamed of doing. There's things I've dreamed of having. And every once in a while I get different ideas of how to achieve that. And so it's more of like, this is what I want. How do I get there? But those things change all the time. So I think that's why I haven't done it, because the way to achieve those things change all the time. And it's kind of scary that it changes all the time, because then it's like, well, what do I even do? Because I change my mind all the time. So that's that. What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? Of my life? Well, I don't have any children. Not that would be like, a woman's greatest accomplishment or anything. I don't know. I'm not on social media. And that's not like, oh, look at me, I'm so good, I'm so great. It's more like, I think there's a lot of social pressures to do a lot of things, and I seem to be very good at resisting a lot of these social pressures. And I think I'm proud of that to a certain extent, the knowledge that if I wanted to, I could. But then I feel like sometimes I get stuck in that idea, and then I don't do things that I want to do because there's like a social pressure to do them. But I'm still kind of proud of the things that I don't do and I think are better for me. I think a lot of people in this world can agree that social media is not very good. Even though I guess this is a form of social media. But this is a kind of social media where if you're good at it, you should be on it. And if you're not good at it, get out. I'm afraid my parents are here. But whatever. What do you value most in a friendship? Those are fireworks, guys. Those are fireworks. I live in a very nice neighborhood. And it's July 5th. I think longevity. And I know that's kind of, I've had this discussion before, but I think longevity is something I value a lot in friendship because, of course, there's like loyalty and honesty and communication, and those are all really good. But the most valuable thing, I think, is longevity, because there's something there to friends that you have had for years at different stages of your life. Again, I'm only 21, so there hasn't been that many stages of my life, but that you can't replace. No amount of honesty, no amount of loyalty, no amount of anything will really replace that. And I have been fortunate enough to have friends that have stuck by me for a really long time and that I have stuck with. So I think that's why I value longevity in a friendship the most, because it's also like, even if you don't have that communication, the very idea that you've been with this person for so long, you've been friends with this person for so long, like, they know things about you that you don't even have to tell them about, because they know that because they were there. What is your most treasured memory? I'm not sure. I think any moment in which my family is together, I'm far more family oriented than I ever thought. So I think maybe my most treasured memory is like the first time There was a big family reunion after I went to college. After I went off to college, although I didn't go very far, but I think like when I realized just how family oriented I was and the fact that I don't think I can handle not being around my family on a regular basis. And then being able to be around my family, I was like, oh, like this is something I value. This is something I care about. And that had to be, I think, that first Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was pretty quick into my college experience, but yeah. What is your most terrible memory? I think my most terrible memory was when I realized that my paternal grandmother was going to pass away. I can't say it was the day that she passed away because so many things had happened at that point where it's like you kind of already knew. But there was one particular day where it was like things aren't gonna get better from here, and that was the day that I was like, ugh. And I think about that day a lot. Again, more than the day that she actually passed away, because again, there's, and I think a lot of people probably know what I'm talking about in that sense of like after a person goes through a certain amount of changes towards the end of their life, you kind of know that you've already lost them in a sense. So I think that day, what a bummer. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are living now? Why? Yes. I would just do more things, probably. Not like travel the world and da-da-da-da. No, just like be more intentional, I guess, about like spending time with family, spending time with friends. Reading. God, reading. I really do like reading. And the idea that there's going to be books that I won't be able to read. And not like in the sorry, lighting is crazy. And not that in the I need to read every single book kind of way, but more in the sense of like, I think there's such value to reading, especially fiction. I do like nonfiction, but something about the stories, I think I would definitely read more, right? Because there's a chance that I would be able to read about people who were able to live these long-fledged lives that I wouldn't. And I don't think that would make me sad. I think it'd be good to like see, you know? I think to a certain extent also, if I knew that I was going to die in a year, there's be so much peace to it, because I always feel like I'm not doing enough, and there's going to be a point where I'm like, okay, like I'm going to get to a stage in my life where I'm like, oh, I wish I had done more at this point in my life. And now I think if I had that 1 year thing, it'd be like, well, this is it. Might as well spend the time with my family. Who cares about climbing the corporate ladder, you feel? What does friendship mean to you? A lot. I don't know words specifically. I'm not very good at that. But just a lot, because as someone who's Mexican, who's Hispanic, who grew, family is everything, and there is a strong sense of like familial duties and whatnot, and so that idea of love with your family is like, for me, I have had sorry for the baby, the great fortune of feeling that for my family. So it's something very special to me when you can feel that kind of commitment with someone who is not, in a way that I've always believed, obligated to give you that attention, to give you that love. You feel? What roles do love and affection play in your life? A fair amount. Again, I'm very family oriented. My family is fairly affectionate. Some of us more than others are more willing to voice that. Or like say, you know what I meant, right? But a lot, there are some friendships or some family members where, for whatever reason, like physical affection or anything is just not, and it's fine because it's like it all balances out, I think, in a way. Like it's not like I don't take it personally. I am like that with some people and I'm not like that with some other people, and there's no clear cut reason for it. It's just different relationships, right? Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. I don't know you, and you don't know me, but that's okay. We're both, wait, no, we're not. I like that you're listening to me. That's a positive for me. Next question. How close and warm is your family? Do you feel your childhood was happier than most other people's? I think I already kind of implied the answer to this, but yes. But my family is pretty close and pretty warm. I don't know if my childhood was happier than most, but I think it was definitely a lot more privileged than most. Certainly a lot more privileged than like my parents' childhood and my grandparents' childhood. So from my perspective, yes, very, very privileged. I grew up in a mostly stable environment, with as much money as we needed to have. There was better times, there were worser times. But fortunately, I was never privy to the bad times as a kid. So I think that's also a lot of privilege there. And how do you feel about your relationship with your mother? Very well. We get along quite well, I'd say. In my teenage years, I think like many teenage relationships between like mother and daughter, it was stressful at times, but you know, we get along. I know that they say that it's like, oh, you fight a lot. Oh my lord, you fight a lot because you're really similar. I don't think that's it from between my mom and I. It's more we have very different emotional reactions to the same things. And I think still now, but a lot more then, I would get unreasonably upset when someone had a different emotional reaction to something. I don't know why. I'll figure that out. I'll get some help. but it is like every time someone is a little more emotional about things that I am not emotional about, I like have this thing in my mind that will get so incredibly upset. And that's weird to me. But yeah, I think this video was mostly in English. Look at that. Is that disrespectful after que México perdió contra Inglaterra? No sé, pero mira, tanto que hable de mi familia tan cercana, no están aquí. Salí del trabajo, les llamé y les dije, hey, porque fueron a ver el partido con mi familia. Y les dije como, ¿quieren que vaya? Y me dijeron que no. Bueno, creo que me dijeron que no quería que manejara más de lo necesario, pero el punto es, no me querían ahí. Así que tuve que ver a México perder aquí yo solita. Pero todo bien, no me va a traumar. En 4 años. Next year's our year. Como los de Ferrari. No. Bye.